Gonna lure y'all with the lure. Lure. I like that. Just made that up. I'm genius. Okay, we got some lore to deep dive into. Oh. That just inspired me.
Well, because...
Please give me a lava pool. I know it looks warm because I installed these shaders. Honestly, it looks like a nice warm sunny day, but if I take them off, you can see it's just a freezing plain of nothingness as far as the eye can see. And oh my god, I have 2 minutes and 30 seconds before I pretty much instantly die. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, it's on survival. You're not even playing on hardcore. What are you?
In this video, we're going to talk about the release date of the second trailer of GTA 6, as it's been 3 months since the first trailer came out, so now we're expecting the second trailer of GTA 6. This includes leaks, theories, and...
Please give me a lava pool. I know it looks warm because I installed these shaders. Honestly, it looks like a nice warm sunny day, but if I take them off, you can see it's just a freezing plain of nothingness as far as the eye can see. And oh my god, I have 2 minutes and 30 seconds before I pretty much instantly die. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, it's on survival. You're not even playing on hardcore.
A big new RPG was announced. We got something Mafia related soon. Ubisoft is still struggling, and we know about some other big reveals we can expect probably before Summer Game Fest. So we got a ton of gaming news to go over. Let's go. Let's start with Ghost of Tsushima, the PC version that of course releases on May 16th with the full single player.
Holy shit, people are just now playing that.
I know it looks warm because I installed these shit. God.
Oh, we don't have natural disasters, you guys. 9 days, I'm buying that bitch. I'm buying that bitch.
Searching this entire mine shaft.
I wanna fuck that bitch. What the fuck? Hold on, y'all. Minecraft icebergs. I got icebergs in the game too. I love it. Ah! Oh, 8 hours. There we go. What the fuck? This has already been out. Hold on.
Exactly the same as PC, kind of, maybe. This announcement's got some good stuff in it. It's also got some stuff that I'm not happy with. I'm going to discuss how console players, if they don't get a hefty discount for this game, could still be paying double what PC players have had, and it's just not good enough. Anyway, let's go through what the post and the video from Fun Pimps actually said. So, 7 Days to Die is leaving early access and going 1.0. Alpha 22, which they've been hyping up constantly for the last year nearly, will actually be version 1.0. Coming to PC Experimental at some point in May, and then likely launching in June for everyone on PC, and then console shortly after. So let's talk about the discourse around PC. 7 Days to Die was a Kickstarter game. It had a bunch of promises in it, and they still haven't implemented everything inside their Kickstarter pledges. They have done a lot more, and I'm not going to knock them too much for wanting to just get into 1.0 and basically have a bit of impetus and a bit of fresh eyes.
Hold on a second, guys.
As they move forward with their road plan. I would say though, they have for a long time said a lot of these features would make it as they go gold or before 1.0. So the fact that we're now hearing this, I don't know, some PC players that just love this game aren't going to really care. They trust that this content's going to arrive. And when you look at games like Rust, if I'm being really fair and not just a bit prejudiced because I don't like them about how they treat console, other games like Rust have done the same thing. And Rust has actually got 20 times better since it left early access and gave content updates, making it a more enjoyable experience for more people rather than just a hardcore. So I can just about live with that.
I guess we're getting an update on 7 Days to Die.
It's got to this stage. Why not just keep it in early access? Are they just sick of hearing the word alpha? Why is there no proper beta? Things like bandits and stuff won't be here for a while, and they do mention DLCs on their roadmap as well, which is a bit of a concern. This to me is the real reason why they're launching in 1.0 and not just simply staying in alpha while they carry on adding the content that they promised or said would come. I'm not sure they could get the writing any smaller, but you can see it here as part of quarter 2024 at the very bottom, outfit DLCs and much more, alongside Twitch drops. Again,
I hate
if you're
this
fair-minded,
skull
you
shit
want
because
your
it
favourite
spreads.
game to get some money to carry on supporting it, making more content, more updates, and a game that's been out 12 years, then you know how many sales could have it made. I swear 7 Days to Die has sold about 8 million copies, something stupid like that. Maybe more, and so maybe that's not enough to sustain a studio of like probably under 30 people for 12 years. I don't know, man. I feel like they just want to avoid being labelled like Art Survival Evolved pretty bad for releasing DLC while in early access. Maybe they need this cash injection to carry on with their further adventures. But that's my hot take. You guys, like I said, lots of PC players that like the game are just going to roll with that and go, yeah, every game does it. Rust has skins, every game has DLC.
Oh, Fallout Facts.
Fan of the
Damn
Fallout
you.
series is familiar with the Nuka-Cola bottles found all around the wasteland. Oftentimes they are filled with refreshing Nuka-Cola, the biggest soft drink in the world pre-war in the Fallout universe. I have been asked... The sandwich...
Go fuck yourself, you fucking nigger. Faggot.
Fan of the Fallout series is familiar
No,
with
get
the
the fuck
Nuka-Cola
over there with that shit. God damn it.
In Fallout New Vegas, when visiting the Strip, we can find the Ultralux Casino, considered one of the fanciest establishments in the entire wasteland. However, very few people notice the note camouflaged by the sidewalk tester just outside the venue. The letter, entitled Fine Dining, reads as follows. These past few years, the very idea of fine dining has seemed beyond our grasp. Indeed, where does one even begin to
Useless Fallout series facts line. Fuck. It's not useless.
I have found the one place left on this godforsaken earth with real food.
present to you the Ultralux. Ignore the rabble on the street, the petty farmers and the everyman types rubbing their pitiful few caps together in an attempt to elevate themselves to some semblance of class. Ignore the filthy, disease-ridden prostitutes of the Gomorrah, whoring themselves to anyone with coin. Walk briskly to the fabulous Ultralux, the only building in New Vegas worth your attention. You'll know it when you see it. Enter the doors of their restaurant, the Gourmand, and speak with the lovely Marjorie. She'll arrange for your care. Dally not, for reservations must be made as early as possible. A sumptuous feast awaits you, dear friends. Knowing what we do about the White Glove Society, this note actually gives a great introduction to their faction before we even step through the door. The story of Fallout New Vegas follows the courier after they get shot in the head by Benny Gecko while en route to deliver the Platinum chip to Mr. House. If the player chooses to be female and sleeps with Benny, they will be given a love note that may imply a hidden foot fetish that Benny has. The note, called Thanks Baby, reads as follows. Pussycat, thanks for showing this cat the best hey he's ever. Talk about platinum in the sack, toots. Where'd you learn that 18-karat trick with the heels of your feet? You didn't just make my toes curl, they popped off and rolled under the bed. I wish I could stay for another round, but this gent's got places to be, things to do. You showing up has forced my hand, baby. The time to act is now. I won't be around for a while, but if everything works out right, you and me are a date. Got it? Wouldn't miss it for all the caps in Vegas. Now don't get clingy and try following me. Ciao, Benny. In Fallout New Vegas, inside Sloan, we can meet Snuffles, the mole rat with the busted leg. But we will be focusing on a fun fact about a different part of his body in this video. It has always been a fun little factoid that Snuffles actually has a higher intelligence stat than Caesar, with Snuffles the mole rat maintaining a solid 5 intelligence, and the infamous leader of Caesar's Legion holding firm at 4 for the stat. Some would argue this is because Caesar has a brain tumor. I think it's just because Snuffles is a genius. While playing Fallout Brotherhood of Steel, if you idle on the Pip-Boy menus for around 15 minutes, an animation of falling atom bombs will start to play. In Fallout Brotherhood of Steel, we can meet a familiar character. This wasteland stranger found in the bar in Carbon, Texas, is none other than the Vault Dweller from the original Fallout. It's proven he is the Dweller from Vault 13 when he gives you a quest to retrieve his trusty Vault 13 canteen. He is apparently between the age of 63 and 82 in the game. While I like this insert for a bit of fan service, in my opinion, they completely ruin whatever nuance the player character from Fallout had by giving him the personality of a shallow action movie star.
I'm a stranger, girl. Didn't your folks teach you not to talk to strangers? No. You never knew your folks. You're a child of the bomb, raised by rats, adopted by the noble knights of the Brotherhood. If you said that to me 30 years ago, I'd have shot you and sold your gear for drinking money. I'm too old for that stuff now. Let me buy you a drink. Just got into town myself. Haven't seen anyone from the Brotherhood, except yourself. I used to be in the Brotherhood too. It was a long time ago. Raiders. I've killed hundreds of them, and more keep popping up. As long as there are humans, there'll be raiders around to cause trouble. That hole? Don't know much about it, and I'm not interested in poking around down there. I've spent enough of my life underground. The mayor, either he's as stupid as he looks or he's lying to you. There's no vaults around here, kid. Believe me, I'd know.
In Fallout New Vegas, we meet Ringo. In one of the first quests
Ringo
we see in
Starr.
the game, we are tasked with helping either Goodsprings or the Powder Gangers in a dispute over Ringo. It seems the Powder Gangers from the NCRCF were charging tolls for caravans along the I-15. When they approached Ringo, instead of paying the fee, he tried to shoot his way out of the robbery. He even managed to take down a Powder Ganger or two on his way out. He made his escape to Goodsprings and held out for about a week before we meet him, biding his time before the inevitable shitstorm coming his way as Joe Cobb seeks revenge for his fallen faction mates. One small detail that gets overlooked is the fact that we can find Ringo's caravan just down the road from Goodsprings, right outside Gene Skydiving and the NCRCF. These Crimson Caravan remains are all that is left of Ringo's group after the attack. While the site is nearly picked clean, there is still some good stuff to find here. One of the first things people with even a passing knowledge of the Fallout series will pick up on is that bottle caps have become the main currency of the wasteland. But why is that? In the original Fallout game, bottle caps made much more sense. Also known as hub bucks due to the hub being their point of origin,
Going on,
the
Yao?
hub merchants picked these caps as a currency due to the overall scarcity and the lack of material required to counterfeit them believably. In this first Fallout game, these bottle caps are backed by water merchants in the hub, giving them a central value as everyone wants purified water. This means that everywhere you go, they will accept the caps for a reason. By the time we hit Fallout 2, the NCR has introduced minted coinage, making bottle caps utterly obsolete as a currency. You can find a bag of 10,000 caps in a well at Broken Hills as part of Typhon's treasure quest. These are worth nothing. In Fallout 3, we see a return to caps as a currency. Unlike the original Fallout, these caps seem to be backed by no one, and do not really make any sense as a form of money. Though overall, I understand and like this decision. It's nice to have a recognizable currency in the Fallout series, and bottle caps work well. Following the trend from Fallout 3, no doubt, New Vegas also has the return of bottle caps as a primary form of cash in the Mojave, but we also have NCR and Legion money being available too. This continues in Fallout 4 as there is no real explanation on what these caps are backed by, but at this point, the caps have ingrained themselves into the identity of the Fallout series. The same goes for the online prequel Fallout 76. At this point, you can just assume that the caps have just become the de facto currency of the Fallout series, and no explanation is needed or given. While there is some background lore that talks about the justification of these caps, I'm speaking in this video more on a broad spectrum, a rundown more or less. In Fallout 2, we can find a special encounter called a Tin Woodsman. Inside this encounter, we can find an Enclave soldier who seems to have rusted armor to the point where he can't move anymore. All he can do is cry out for the oil can that is merely feet away from him. If the Chosen One picks up the oil can and uses it on the Enclave soldier, it will lubricate the armor and open up dialogue. After expressing his gratitude, the Enclave soldier will give the Chosen One 150 microfusion cells and then run off into the wasteland, never to be seen again, because he probably fucking killed himself. We can find two unique map objects when it comes to this encounter as well, including the Cola Fridge and the Circular Stove. This special encounter as a whole, of course, is a reference to the Tin Woodman from the Wonderful Wizard of Oz, who had a similar problem with rust, where he would lock up and become immobile when exposed to moisture such as tears or rain. In Fallout 2, you can get the special encounter the Unwashed Villagers hunting a spammer. Upon first observation, it may just look like a big group of people shooting at one guy in the middle of a parking lot, all while shouting some pretty unique text about unwashed vengeance. This whole encounter is just one big reference to a real-life flame war that happened in the Fallout community back in the day. This stemmed from a spammer and general ne'er-do-well named Grim Reaper who hit the forums at the time. Grim is represented here by an NPC with the same name. The rest of the NPCs that are shooting at him, they represent the real-life members of the Unwashed Village, one of, if not the oldest Fallout community online. A Fallout community that is still online and active to this day. The developers of Fallout 2 put this special encounter in the game to show support for the members of the community as well as reference the Flame War. As if you let this fight play out, the Unwashed Villagers will destroy the spammer and then run off into the wasteland. It is possible to engage in combat and have Grim stay alive for the entire fight. If he lives through it and nobody else does, he'll just continue wandering around spamming his combat quotes. Inside of the warehouse, we can find 6 Stimpaks and a fruit located in a locker. If you hold shift and click on the credits in the original Fallout game, you will be treated to some spicy quotes and memes from the dev team, which I'm showing to you sped up a bit here. This would also be carried over to Fallout 2 by doing the same thing. Holding shift and clicking on the credits button, we can see some more spicy memes. When testing Fallout New Vegas, Obsidian used a test cell NPC named Testicles the Debug Centurion. We can spawn him using console commands, and when speaking to him, we can change many things with the save file like quest outcomes, reputation levels, and even spawn Rex as a companion. Interestingly, the same model is used for Ron the Narrator, who can also be seen using console commands by spawning him in, or turning on player controls during the ending slideshow. Ron the Narrator acts as an NPC in-game in place of Ron Perlman's VA lines. A lot of fans of Fallout, including myself at one point, may have believed the rumor that there is some bad blood between Obsidian and Bethesda. This stems from the time Obsidian was put to work on making Fallout New Vegas. This was done because of a lot of the original Fallout team was at Obsidian at the time, and I imagine people wanted to see what would come of it. The rumor took off due to an issue with the proposed bonus. If the game was to receive an 85 plus on Metacritic, the team would receive a financial reward on top of their flat rate. New Vegas would receive an 84, and the team would not get the bonus, leading fans to believe that Obsidian was somehow cheated by Bethesda and that there must be bad blood because of the classic Fallout fans' reception of New Vegas. This isn't the case, as multiple tweets from Chris Avalon show. Yep, Bethesda offered the bonus in the contract. We never asked for it. I don't feel Bethesda ever mistreated us, and there was a number of instances where they went above and beyond. The reward for completing the Operation Anchorage DLC for Fallout 3 is access to a pre-war sealed bunker that holds relics from the period of the Resource Wars. The centerpiece is a pristine set of winterized T-51B power armor, due to the DLC also rewarding the player with the power armor training perk required to wear the gear. This is a great way to start any playthrough, especially since the armor is indestructible, or at least it would appear that way. This is actually a misconception and a bug on Bethesda's part, leading many who played the DLC at the time of the release to think that perhaps the label of winterized was a way of saying unbreakable, when in fact, that is just referring to the snowy texture. Citing the wiki, we can see the truth behind the mishap. The version given after completing the Anchorage Reclamation simulation is the Sim version, rather than the intended Wasteland version. Among other issues, the Sim version has abnormally high health, close to 10 million hit points, and as a result, will likely never become noticeably damaged. The armor can only be repaired by merchants. Every fan of the Fallout series has seen this Vault Boy pose, arm extended, winking with a joyful thumbs up. Many people are under the impression that this is a reference to an old wives' tale that says if you see a mushroom cloud and hold your thumb up, and your thumb is larger than the cloud, you are out of the radiation zone. Not only is this not true, as you would still feel the effects of a nuclear blast for more than 3 miles from ground zero, but Vault Boy is not doing this during this pose. One of the Fallout series creators and Wasteland series lead, Brian Fargo, has confirmed this in a tweet saying, "The Vault Boy simply has a positive attitude." I had an interesting bug or glitch happen in Fallout 3 after I completed the main quest and went to start Broken Steel. President Eden just kind of showed up at the Citadel, and though I couldn't talk to him, it was nice to see him again. I'm not quite sure how common this glitch or bug is, but if you've had it in your game, let me know, and if you have any other glitches or bugs from Fallout games, tell me in the comments. At the Tops Casino in New Vegas, we can talk to Tommy Torini inside the Aces Theater. He will ask the courier to recruit acts for the casino. The quest will lead us to the comedians Billy Knight and Hadrian, and the musicians Bruce Isaac and the Lonesome Drifter. While recruiting the boys, we can see that the marquee for the Tops is starting to fill up with these names. Excellent small detail, but it also offers a hint at a bigger reward for completing the quest. We can watch these acts once they've settled at the Aces Theater.
I told my wife, she's good looking for a ghoul. It's just too bad she's not a ghoul. Ay, ay, ay.
The most interesting of which is the Lonesome Drifter, who will play reimagined folk songs that will fit into the Fallout universe, such as singing Streets of New Reno based on Streets of Laredo, which was first published in 1910 in John Lomax's Cowboy Songs and Other Frontier Ballads, but was made famous by Marty Robbins. These songs were recorded by Fallout New Vegas lead Joshua Sawyer.
As I walked out in the streets of New Reno, as I walked out in New Reno one day, I spied a young cowboy all wrapped in white linen, wrapped in white linen and cold as the plain.
In Fallout 4, we can find many birds throughout the Commonwealth. One fact to note is that some of them are synthetic, and they are watching. These watchers, as the Institute calls them, are scent animals, in this case primarily ravens, that act as security cameras throughout the Commonwealth, which the Railroad and Minutemen are well aware of. You can find display screens in the Institute that will eerily line up with some of the locations we can find birds in the wasteland. This allows the Synth Retention Bureau to monitor the outside, with most people being none the wiser. This is a tremendous small detail in Fallout 4, and it might make you do a double take the next time you see some birds out in your travels. In Fallout New Vegas, you will likely acquire the quest Come Fly With Me. In this side quest, we have to help Jason Bright and his followers get their rockets to working order to travel to the far beyond.
They wish to leave the Mojave due to the ghoul bigotry in the area. Most ferals being shot on site makes the group uneasy. Due to the use of rockets and the vague name of the Far Beyond location, many people just assumed that the Bright Brotherhood was headed to outer space in search of another planet altogether, but this is not true. This is proven by the fact that in some endings, parts of the religious group make their way back to the Mojave to rebuild and help settlers after the Second Battle of Hoover Dam, shown in slides walking across the wasteland. The more likely destination for Jason and his bunch is Dayglow, a town known for its large population and acceptance of ghouls, as well as its high residual radiation levels. The small flies that you can find swarming around various corpses in Fallout New Vegas are actually low-poly tiny bloatflies. This is just another small detail that I think makes the Fallout series even better when you look at it as a whole. Northwest of the 188 Trading Post lies the Followers Outpost, which, as the name would imply, is an outpost for the followers of the apocalypse.
As soon as I can, I'm buying Fallout 3 in New Vegas. I didn't like it at first, but when I got into the lore, it made me think of made me want to play it. It's amazing how that shit works. Oh man, I'm cool. I don't want to play. Oh shit, the lore? That's from that game? What the fuck? I gotta play, puto.
Hit the comments and let everyone know.
I'm just messing
Since
around.
Fallout 3,
But yeah,
we've been hearing bits and
it makes
pieces
me
that
wanna
eventually lead us to
play the
Fallout
game.
76, mainly in the mentioning of Vault 76. In the A-ring of the Citadel in Fallout 3, we can find this terminal entry about the vault. It covers the various equipment that was issued to the vault and gives this description. Vault 76 is one of our 17 control vaults. It will operate exactly according to the plan dictated in the marketing material produced by Vault-Tec and precisely to resident expectations. This vault will open automatically after a period of 20 years, and the residents will be pushed back into the open world for study in comparison to the other experiments. In the DLC for Fallout 3, Mothership Zeta, we can hear an audio log from an assistant CEO of Vault-Tec Corporation, named Giles Wollstonecroft. He is abducted while inspecting the Vault 76 site.
Hey now, no reason to get yourself worked up. Whatever you need, I'm going to tell it to you. Well, pretty sure you want me to talk into this thing, so here goes. My name is Giles Wollstonecroft. I'm the current Assistant Chief Executive Officer of the Vault-Tec Corporation. I was inspecting the construction site of
I'm gonna do the natural
Vault
disasters.
76 when I
I'm gonna
was
get that one.
captured what I can only assume are alien
I'd be able to get it if these
beings
people
from
would have
another
paid me my fucking
world. Not sure what
$10.
they
But
want from me or what they
I'm gonna
will
get
do.
$25
Whatever they need,
for 10.
I will readily provide.
Ooh.
Perhaps I could bridge our communication gap.
Or 50.
Establish a rapport with them. We can enter into an
I might get a
exclusive
$50
trade agreement.
PlayStation card.
In fact, instead of talking to this damn machine, I'm going to attempt to address them directly.
'Cause that's
On
what,
behalf of the Vault-Tec
35.
Corporation, I'd like to extend a heartfelt welcome to you. Wait, you don't need that. Wait.
$35 for a $50
In
card.
Fallout 4, the newscaster at the beginning of the game, who's voiced by Ron Perlman, will mention the opening of Vault 76 before the bombs drop.
Vault-Tec stock continues to rise as tensions with China reach an all-time high. With the world poised on the brink of war,
What's 15% minus $100? Oh, whoops. What's $100 minus 15%?
100 minus 15% is 85.
So that's $85 for a $100 card. 95. Only 15 bucks off. I don't know. I'm gonna get a good deal though. 8 fucking hours of this shit. This is my life. I need to do a
Vault-Tec announced a continuation of their popular
Fallout Vault
promotion.
YouTube channel.
The report openings are still available in area vaults 81,
I gotta be able to watch my mouth though, 'cause I don't wanna.
and 114.
I don't wanna be a potty
Since
mouth. I
debuting
hate it.
Vault 76 last
I don't
year,
care who I
number of
offend. I just don't want to use those words.
Vault-Tec continues to expand with plans for well over 100 vaults around the country.
In Fallout 2, the Chosen One can get a quest to rescue Smiley, the trapper, from the toxic caves. After finding him, one might notice the generator and elevator nearby. This is pretty much impossible to get into in the early game, as you need good repair or Vic as a companion to do the repairs for you. And you need to be skilled at lockpicking. Well, the skill won't get you far here, as you also need An electronic lockpick, which can be found in places like San Francisco and Navarra. A prepared Chosen One could manage to get through the elevators. Still, they will be met with a security bot, also known as a sentry bot, on the lower level, which will, of course, be hostile. This is not the only sentry bot in the game, but it comes out of nowhere to stop you from going any further. More of these guys can be found at the Sierra Army Depot or the oil rig, implying the Enclave likes to use them. If we manage to win this fight, the reward is arguably one of the best weapons in the game, the Bozar rifle, which can blow away Deathclaws in one burst. In Fallout 3, we can find the Anchorage War Memorial. This is a statue celebrating the U.S. soldiers who fought in the Battle of Anchorage, Alaska. In the add-on Operation Anchorage, we can see a photographer line up a group of troopers and tell them to strike a heroic pose, and he will make them famous. This picture would be the inspiration behind the statue we see back in the Capitol Wasteland. This is a great small detail that Bethesda added to the DLC. Anyone who has paid a visit to Freeside in New Vegas has noticed the various street criers advertising the local businesses. One crier that stands out
we're gonna have
quite
to
a
put the
bit is the
TNT
Atomic Wrangler crier,
to make
who
it
has some very
bomb-proof.
straightforward dialogue when promoting the bar.
Hungry? Thirsty? Horny? The Atomic Wrangler has you covered.
While not all that shocking by itself, it's when you
Chicken
look at the
wrangle
voice
me,
actress
bitch.
Ashley McCollum was 13 at the time of the recording that it begins to seem a bit off. This means that in some capacity, an adult in an authoritative professional position directed this 13-year-old child to say these things, instead of opting for the many of numerous adult women extras that appear throughout the game. I asked Fallout New Vegas game director Joshua Sawyer about this choice on Twitter, and he offered this response. Alright, here you go. I don't know. I was only involved in the casting of a relatively small number of characters, mostly ones I wrote and a few others. When FNB was made, it held the record for the largest number of recorded lines in any video game, about 65,000. All lines were recorded within a few months by 4 studios recording concurrently every workday, which is unreal. I attended a total of maybe 5 or 6 voice sessions out of hundreds. I can't speak for the casting director, the writer of those lines, or anyone else. I don't know. But if you're looking at a game that obviously had a bunch of errors in casting and recording, errors that are well documented within various wikis, characters changing ethnicity, lines being split between different actors, and Khan inexplicably having a native Kiwi accent, you can either deduce that this minor character was cast this way due to the presumably extremely perverse and wild tastes of everyone involved, or that it was a screw-up/oversight like the dozens of other ones that players have noted in the last 10 years. In Fallout 2, you can come across my favorite encounter in the entire series, the Guardian of Forever. When first arriving at this special encounter, it may just look like some ruins, but if you're to walk through the Ark, you will take a trip through space and time. On the other side, the Chosen One will find themselves inside Vault 13, but not the Vault 13 that appears in Fallout 2. This is Vault 13 before the events of the original Fallout. You're able to explore this level of the vault, but there's no NPCs to interact with. The Chosen One can loot a bunch of Vault 13 water flasks and even some weapons they may find in the locker. And also, don't forget about the Solar Scorcher that lies on the floor here. There's one terminal inside the main frame of the vault that seems to be making noise, and if you interact with it, that's when the fun really starts. It seems the Chosen One pressed too many buttons or didn't exactly know what they were doing, because upon messing with the computer, it breaks the water chip for Vault 13, putting into effect the events of Fallout 1, which in the log says gives you some kind of strange comfort. The core of this encounter is a reference to the City on the Edge of Forever, which is a Star Trek episode that saw Kirk and Spock take a similar portal named the Guardian of Forever to New York in the 1920s. The most likely special encounter you're going to get in Fallout 2 is a man guarding a bridge. In this encounter, the Chosen One will break the fourth wall by telling the player in floating text to save the game in a new world. And their concern is well placed because this encounter can lead to quite a horrible death. The exit grid and the highway if you have it with you are on the other side of the bridge. The only way you're going to get across it is if you talk to the bridge keeper. This NPC actually uses an unobtainable sprite with a brown robe, because if you are to receive the bridge keeper's robes, it will be a tone of purple, much like the children of the cathedral. The man will require you to answer the questions 3 in order to get across the bridge, and this is where things can go a few ways. The Chosen One can engage in combat with the bridge keeper, but it is a pretty hefty fight. It will reward 7,500 combat XP, and of course you'll get the bridge keeper's robes, but you'll also lose a bit of karma. If you engage with the man's questions and answer them incorrectly, the Chosen One will explode into a million pieces. If you were to answer the questions 3 accurately, then the bridge keeper will walk back across the bridge, allowing you passage into the exit grid or your car. And finally, if you answered the last question with another question, like the strong back listing that is in the dialogue options, the Bridge Keeper will explode much like the Chosen One did before, with like a bloody mess incident. For those of you unfamiliar with the Fallout 2 armor system or the armors found inside the game, Bridge Keeper robes is some of the best armor you can get. I know it doesn't sound like it is, but it has very high resistance to things that you wouldn't expect it to. This special encounter is, of course, one of the many references to Monty Python inside Fallout 2, this one being from the Holy Grail, where an old man guarding the Bridge of Death will only allow passage if you answer his questions 3. Just outside the border of New Vegas and Freeside, in front of Camp McCarran, we can find the fabulous New Vegas sign. Adorned in lights, the sign welcomes or warns worried travelers that they are entering New Vegas proper. It would seem someone left a tiny bit of positivity in the message, as we can find a small smiley face drawn inside the O of welcome, a terrific greeting to a beautiful city. If you manage to get the Sheriff's Duster in Fallout New Vegas, you'll notice that it's the same Sheriff's Duster that Lucas Sims had in Fallout 3, down to the Sheriff's Star, which even says Megaton. Now, this could be a Fallout 3 reference, but that's highly unlikely. Odds are it's just an oversight and a reused asset.
Boy, I really hope somebody got fired for that one.
In the original Fallout game, you could come across an alien ship that seems to have crashed in the middle of the wasteland. You can find the alien blaster at this encounter, but you can also find an item called Fuzzy Painting. This is a portrait of music legend Elvis Presley and is modeled after an actual painting of the star. Likely, the picture can be found at an alien ship because of the various conspiracy theories that Elvis was alive. Some people even thought he could have been abducted and living with aliens. Many of these paintings can be found in Fallout 2, with the most interesting one coming from Dr. Jubilee in NCR. After helping Salt Beef Lava get a drink, the Chosen One has the opportunity to purchase a Velvet Elvis that just happens to have a map of Vault 13 on it. In the Fallout 3 add-on Broken Steel, we can find what I would call the worst hidden weapon, though this launcher was never supposed to be obtained anyways. After heading to the Rockland Tunnel and clashing with the Enclave, you can find this fence between 2 stone posts. This is where you can get this weapon legitimately by using 5mm ammo boxes to build a set of stairs. On PC, we can simply no-clip through and head to the location of the Tesla Cannon Beta. This Tesla Cannon uses the same model as the missile boxes to build a set of stairs. On PC, we can simply no-clip through and head to the location of the Tesla Cannon Beta. This Tesla Cannon uses the same model as the missile launcher and also takes missiles as ammo. This means it can be repaired with missile launchers. While it may look like a standard missile launcher, it will fire the standard Tesla Cannon shot. I call this the worst hidden weapon almost as a meme, as it does less damage than its in-game counterpart and uses more AP. In the Fallout 3 DLC,
when we get to shelters, I'm gonna see about
the person that came before you.
see if we could go lower than normal.
Let's hope you treat this one better than the last guy, huh?
Like negative 1,000.
Whatever. Just make some progress, okay? We're all looking to get out of here.
And behind this locked door, we can find a Gary Vault 108, Gary 23 to be precise. Looks like his arm is removed as well. So probably this clone of Gary couldn't comprehend what was going on and just kept saying his own name, so they removed his arm to try to get into the simulation, which didn't seem to work, or try to get into the armory, and that did not seem to unlock it the way they wanted it to, which is probably what Sibley is hazing Olin about. There is a hidden diner above Diamond City, just outside the stadium. While this room is hard to get to, it's not impossible, with the easiest way to get up to the diner being a jetpack. Once you are in the hidden room, you will see that it used to be occupied, but the settler is no longer with us. Along with a great view, you can find some minor loot up here as well as a mini-nuke. I wouldn't mind camping here if I was in the Commonwealth. While in New Vegas, if you visit Vault 22 and you go inside Sarah's room, you will be able to see a portrait of James and Catherine from Fallout 3, the Lone Wanderer's parents. Now this is either a Fallout 3 Easter egg for some reason, because of the Vault-Tec connection, or this is just a photo reuse asset situation. Either way, it is an interesting discussion piece. Fallout 2, you can come across a special encounter called a crash shuttle, with the world map circle calling it Federation Shuttle. And laying outside the craft, we can find a bunch of dead red shirts. Of course, this special encounter is a big reference to the Star Trek franchise, with the design of the shuttle being pretty much identical to those we see on the USS Enterprise from the original series. The red shirts that we see here are also modeled after the ones that we see in Star Trek. Of course, these are the people who have the most unfortunate luck in the entire series and always end up dying in some horrible way. This encounter also holds a reference that's more personal to the development of Fallout 2, with the name of the craft and the starship that it originated from being a reference to Adani Torres, who was an intern artist that worked on Fallout 2. We can find futuristic-looking hypodermic needles on the red shirts. These, in-game, can heal 75 to 100 HP. They're pretty good. The Chosen One was supposed to be able to find a phaser here at this encounter, but that was unfortunately cut. It would have acted as a high-power energy pistol. In Fallout New Vegas, just southeast of Horowitz Farm, lies a house that kind of breaks the norm. This house is open, meaning that there's no load screen required when going in and out. I've played a lot of Fallout New Vegas, and this is the only house fully built inside that seems to be this way. Of course, if you've found others, please let me know in the comments. Guarded by two fiends, the house is a nice resting area for anyone who can clear them out. While there are ruins throughout the Mojave that have a similar feel, I haven't found a complete house that is just open in the wasteland like this. In Fallout 3, you're supposed to assume that Colonel Autumn dies during the Project Purity incident when he confronts James. Of course, he shows that he has survived after the player finds the Gek. Many people have asked how Colonel Autumn could have survived such an event, and I myself didn't really know until a couple of years ago. Turns out that Colonel Autumn pulls out a syringe and injects himself with some kind of mystery agent. According to the wiki, it is probably a more effective version of Radaway or Rad-X.
You're listening to Galaxy News Radio, and I'm your host, Three Dog, Lord and Master of all I survey.
Most everyone familiar with the Fallout series
Lord and
knows of the
Master of all I
iconic
survey.
DJ from Galaxy News Radio, Three Dog.
Prideful
Many
bitch!
may not know why he is named that. Eric Todd Dellums, the incredible voice actor for Three Dog, actually had a bit of an influence over his character. He was even the one who gave the signature howl to the golden voice of the Good Fight. Did you know that the character Three Dog is actually named in reference to a role that Dellums played back in 1986? The actor would briefly appear in the Spike Lee film She's Gotta Have It, where he would play Dog Number 3. Joining a list of other men, the female lead had less than favorable play Dog Number 3. Joining a list of other men, the female lead had less than favorable interactions with. So they decided to name the character Three Dog, after Dog Number 3.
In my experiences, I found two types of men, the decent ones and the dogs. It seems that men are taught not to be in touch with themselves, with their true feelings, but the things that they do say, weak.
You so fine, baby. I drank a tub of your bath water. Congress has just approved me to give you my heat and moisture-seeking mix missile.
I just want to rock your world.
In Fallout 2, you can encounter aliens out in the wasteland during your travels. They are intense and brutal, but they are not extraterrestrial. Outside of Reading, you will only see them as aliens. Still, when exploring the underground mines of the town, you will see they have changed to their proper name, Wanamingo. Fallout 2 does this because most everyone in the game world knows these creatures as aliens, so the Chosen One would only have that as a reference, making them appear as aliens in the logs. But in the mines of Reading, people know them for what they are, so it has changed to represent them. Wanamingos were made using FEV for fighting wars against other countries. I received a question from a viewer that I hadn't really thought about before, and that was, do the boomers at Nellis fire on every NPC that enters their territory, or is it just Janet and the courier that are victims to their artillery shots? Well, the answer is they absolutely do, but they seem to show mercy to NCR veteran rangers.
Yeah, that reminded me, hold on. I want to listen to something right quick. Talk to you guys in a bit. Like, comment, subscribe. not gonna believe this, but it's gonna sound crazy, but I'm gonna continue building later. But I want to play some Motorfest because there are some cars I want to get. But I was thinking of Tech Nine and his rap song with Eminem, which is fucking superb. And I want to race to that shit, dude. Yeah, I do want to get those cars though. They're like 2 million. I should be able to do it. But it'll take a while. Hold on, guys. Okay, you guys. I'll catch you guys in the next video. We are gonna play some fast driving games. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out. When I start the video, I'm just gonna play the music while driving. Oh fuck. Peace out. Hold on. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.